Sorry about the delay. I was hitting buttons and posting the live feed. Welcome back to the Pure Steel Podcast, everybody. I am your host, Louis P. Schreier. And as always, this show is Pure Steel and Sex Appeal. Been a little bit rusty, but we got so much NFL news to break down. A ton went on this week. So, as always, I always request help, and our Green Bay Packer insider, Bryce Ripley, is here to help us out. What's up, brother?
How we doing, buddy?
Doing good. How I usually start these shows is I can put out like little nonsensical news items. So, right off the bat, WWE, AEW, WCW, TNA legend Sting retired last week. I can remember with our cousin Nathan playing WCW versus NWO, and he'd always be Sting. That's probably my number one Sting memory.
Yeah.
He had that baseball bat, the trench coat, the face paint. Looked like the movie The Crow. He always had that signature look. Just a legend.
Well, I mean, you play the N64 No Mercy. I think the whole generation knows about that. So
yeah. Oh, man, it was like that was growing up. Like WWE was so big, you know what I mean? Like even WCW like that. That whole era of the Monday Night Wars with Stone Cold Steve Austin and
what do they call that? The Attitude Era, correct?
Yeah, the Attitude Era. Yeah.
So I mean, really, the Attitude Era was just another thing you tell kids like. Not even a long generation ago that it was better.
Man. See, WWF back then, because it was WWF back then, It was such a transcendent thing because that was like the real introduction to personalities that are bigger in life, you know what I mean? Like and that's nothing against other eras of wrestling because obviously our parents grew up with Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan. Burped. Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Ultimate Warrior. But we had Steve Austin, we had Shawn Michaels, we had all these legends. Undertaker. Not so much. He wasn't so much like a bigger than life personality, but he was the perfect personality for the Attitude Era, just in that whole persona. And not to refer to Aaron Jones, we'll get to that, but he was the guy inside the locker room that everybody looked up to. There's stories out there with the Miz, right when he started in WWE. Because he was that young punk, they kicked him out of the locker room. So he'd literally have to go get changed in a janitor's closet and shit like that before the matches. And Undertaker's enough of this shit. He's one of us. We're going to treat him like one of us. And then as soon as he said something, that locker room changed because the Miz was welcomed again. Just that's unreal, unheard of. And just Undertaker is definitely that guy to kind of be that, that overshadow of a locker room. So he's definitely a leader, I guess you can call him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Steve Austin, the whole him versus the corporation essentially. Vince McMahon, The Rock. The Rock was born through WWE, WWF.
Yeah, but also I mean I think Vince McMahon and Stone Cold, they were the greatest on TV nemesis for entertainment wise in our era. Excuse me. In our era, that everybody was glued to it. When you there was a documentary I watched on YouTube. It was for free, and it said, when that glass shattered, you knew there was something coming. There is a guy coming down that ramp right now. And he's gonna take care of it,
Coming down to stop a mud hole in your ass,
Yeah, he was the hero, man. He transformed himself. He used to have that long hair, and then he went bald and embraced the Austin 316, and it's legendary. It's entertainment legendary.
Yeah, no, that whole era back there in the '90s, mid '90s, that was just totally true. It changed everything.
Yeah.
Every Monday as kids, we were watching WWF. And at that time, it was a bigger spectacle than football was.
Yeah.
Which is
Do you think that, like, it's like now I watch The Rock do his thing, and The Rock is like, okay, yeah, you're doing The Rock stuff, but that was for an era that belongs to be in that era. Like, you can't just come back and do The Rock stuff.
actually, I think it's one of those things though, like with The Rock, where he is personally larger in life now. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
He's in every major Hollywood movie, and now he's like part owner of that TKO Endeavor thing. So he's like, you think of The Rock, he's also owner of the UFC now too. So we're going to see him more probably just making appearances in the UFC and more because like he's wrestling at WrestleMania, and I guess he's planning on doing 2 events next year too. So probably SummerSlam and maybe Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah, he's gonna do it. Yeah, I'm sure he will. I don't know. It's just weird to me to watch it, but anyway.
Yeah, but yeah. So, in other news, today is Vinny Paul's heavenly birthday. Vinny Paul was the longtime drummer of legendary band Pantera and Damage Plan, and then formerly of Hell Yeah. So Alcohol and Ass, those songs like that all came through Vinny Paul. So yeah, I was gonna do a little tribute for old Vincent Paul here. I should have had this up before, but I'm an amateur.
God, those people are really having a good time.
There's old Vinny Ball, the drummer there. His brother Dimebag, if you don't know your history of music, the guitarist.
Well, Dimebag goes a long ways there, it looks like.
Legend, absolute legend.
I couldn't bang my head that much. I would just lose it.
Stop there before Facebook pulls down the stream.
Oh, yeah, they will. They'll find you.
Yeah, not hard to find. So, yeah, Vinny Paul's birthday today, heavenly birthday today. So, happy birthday, Vinny Paul. You've been 60 today.
60.
Unreal. He's been gone for a couple of years now. Yeah, but getting into like the NFL news today that is literally ran fucking rampant.
Yeah, let's talk Packers, bud. Let's talk Packers.
Yeah, so we already got our first comment. So Spike, thank you very much for listening.
Mike Olson. What, buddy?
Goes by Spike. And if you are a gamer, he is Firefighter MDO. You can find him on Kick. You can find him on Facebook. He should also be on YouTube, but take it easy on the little fart. Yeah, so getting right to the, obviously Packers, they had a really up and down kind of day. I guess if you take it as is, right off the bat. John Runyon signed with the Giants, which was a $30 million deal, which was right where it's just one of those things. It's kind of a bittersweet thing, I guess, for the Packers, where you can't re-sign everybody, but Runyon was hard to see go because at the end of the year he had that very sentimental, like he wanted to be back. But it's strictly business, you know what I mean? Like
it always is.
Just one of those things where you can go somewhere else, make some money, no hard feelings. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's another opportunity. What the Packers did was they basically said, our long term, we don't see you fitting in it. Let's give you an opportunity to go and find out what your market value is, and which he got it.
Yeah, he got a bag for, if you look at his production, he was getting better literally every game this past year. So it sucks to see him go, but man, he got a bag where he went, and it's not like these guys could play it forever. So go get your money. You know what I mean?
Well, with the New York tax, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, with his 10 years, 30 million, so 10 million a year with taxes after paying your agent, he'll get around 8 million, 8.5. So it's not a bad payday. He wouldn't have got that in Green Bay.
No, he would definitely want to got that in Green Bay.
Not for what Brian Gutekunst did today. Like that was, I thought today, like the signings today hit a lot of pieces right away, and now we can just kind of sit back and see what else happens with the 10.9 million we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
A lot of play.
Yeah, that another player that also signed elsewhere today was Darnell Savage, who, I thought definitely had potential when he first came in. I was actually I remember watching a draft because we watched that draft together when Darnell Savage was drafted, and I was really excited because he brought so much to the table. But
he was the athlete coming out of there. He looked good out of Maryland, man. He was flying.
He's still a good ball player. I'm not gonna say he isn't. He's not washed by any means, dude. He's still
he might be the system problem. Like he might be in that system that's wrong. Like Micah Hyde, he went to Buffalo, flourished. That could be Darnell Savage very well.
No, absolutely.
And maybe Hafley didn't say this is my guy. He wanted somebody else. So
he definitely got to somebody else. We'll get down to we'll get down to our signings after the fact. So I just looking through who's going where. I mean, right off the bat, Raiders signed Christian Wilkins to a deal, 4 years, $110 million, which is huge. Wilkins is notorious for being a guy inside the trenches who can just bang it out with anybody. If you even listen to New Heights podcast with the Kelsey brothers, Jason Kelsey has nothing but glowing things to say about him. He's a guy who's faced off with one-on-one. So, I mean, Raiders got a dog, especially with the new coaching over there. I mean, they got a player's coach finally over there, and they got a guy who's not a robot and a dickhead as a coach. So, I mean, shout out to the Raiders for getting him. Andrew Van Ginkel, former Wisconsin Badger, signed with the Minnesota Vikings. So it sucks for Van Ginkel taking a step backwards and playing for a semi-pro organization, but it definitely is what it is.
I'm happy for him, man. He's gonna be, he's such a good athlete, dude. Honestly, if we didn't have Preston Smith, he would be the guy that I would definitely you should put some chips in for that one. I mean, I think they got a good player there, versatile player, depending on his health. I think it's a good signing for them, but
his family still resides too in Wisconsin. His wife still lives.
Yeah, I mean it's so close for him that it's convenient, and he's making money, and everything's good for him. So it's great. Former Badger.
Yeah, it's I believe that is one of the two cousins. He'd be Jake Ferguson's cousin, and also Barry Alvarez's grandson.
Yeah. So that'd be a relative. Yeah. Leo Chenault, he's Super Bowl champion now too. A lot of good Badgers.
Yes, two, doesn't he? Back to back.
Yeah, it might be two. Yeah, it is two, I think.
Yeah, it's a monster, absolute monster. Yeah. Another guy the Packers should have drafted. I really like Leo Chenault.
Oh, yeah,
he's so good.
Great kid, man.
Yeah, other big signings today, man. The Eagles signed former Giants running back Saquon Barkley. That's I don't know how to look at this because he's a guy who just could not stay healthy for a while. Just kind of one of those goofy things. I hope nothing but the best. I mean, I remember watching it at Penn State. Him versus James White back then. I think that would have been White Gordon era, right? Yeah. Either way, it's Barkley. Watch him play for Penn State. He was a stud, and nothing but respect for him being a Big Ten running back. The weird thing with him, has been definitely health. Hopefully he can continue to stay healthy.
I mean, the knee is not everybody's Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson, gift of God. Like that, he is literally one of the dudes. But regardless of the fact, he has a chance to prove it with probably a better offensive line, a more stable offensive line. And I think it'll help the offense in general. I really do. If you can have a guy like that back there. Now, how do you have to bring in another guy into that running back room if you're the Eagles?
Yeah, you absolutely have to.
Yeah, I think you just basically. I feel like it's almost the Packers situation now, where it's like, okay, we got Jacobs, we got Saquon, Now we got to get somebody for sure. I think in the room to learn.
No, that's what the draft is for. The Eagles are notorious for drafting good players. I mean, that's
They got good scouts too, for sure.
Yeah, that's just one of those flagship organizations too, where they're always kind of in the mix and they're always doing something interesting. So, I guess moving on, that running. I don't know why it's such a big running back run today, but the Giants have acquired Devin Singletary from the Texans. Big move by them, and it's not going to fill the loss to Saquon, but by any means, I mean, it's still he's a good running back. I mean, he's not a scrub by any means. He definitely had some good flashes this year. Another big notable signing, the Green Bay Packers are signing former Giants safety Xavier McKinney to a 4-year deal. I didn't see the numbers on what I copied and pasted, but it's exactly what we needed for a safety, and definitely an upgrade from Darnell Savage. But I think the most important stat line I see, because I did a little bit of digging before I even hopped on here, but the most important stat line I seen today was this past year in coverage. He played 592 snaps. He was targeted 53 times and then allowed 0 touchdowns. So that's.
And he's a hawk. I mean, he's a ball hawk.
Yeah,
the guy's a ball hawk. I mean, it's just not. It's not a question. You go back and look at the tape. You can say, oh, well, the NFC East, well, Dak Prescott's pretty good. Daniel Jones is, Jalen Hurts is, at the end of the day, he's played good quarterbacks, and he's proved himself, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he's played – well, the Giants played us this past year, and they played – well, I think they played the Giants played every single NFC North team this year. They played – I guess I don't remember. I could pull it up too, but, I guess it doesn't – you're playing NFL talent no matter what, you know what I mean? So even if it's Baker Mayfield or it's, Jordan Love or Patrick Mahomes, you're still playing NFL talent.
Yeah. You are, but at the same time, it's still those are pretty good quarterbacks. Now that you sit here and think about it, like those.
Well, he played for the team with the worst quarterback there. You know what I mean? Like Daniel Jones sucks. He's not going to be a starter in the league probably after next year.
Well, they had DeVito, man. They were going for a while. And unfortunately, what happened to Dan? I mean, you can't. It's just hard to say what he would have done with a quarterback when the offense doesn't have as much pressure as the defense does. But
continuing on, the 49ers have signed defensive lineman Leonard Floyd, who's been an arch nemesis of us, when he played for the Bears for years. And good for him. I think he went to Baltimore this past year, right? He got traded to Baltimore mid-season about. Leonard Floyd's a stud. I'm actually was one of those players where, you always see players kind of go within the division. That would be one for the Packers to pick up. That would have been a really fun one. Leonard Floyd, especially our new 4-3 scheme now, man, he'd have been a really good linebacker / defensive end for us. Set the edge, get after the quarterback. He'd been one of those guys that would have been good for us. And then moving on to a former Packer. Browns are re-signing Zadarius Smith on a 2-year, $23.5 million deal. They overpaid for him, I think, but he's still a productive guy for a position that they're a dime a dozen. You know what I mean? And he's a nickel in that discussion of a dime, but he's still a solid. He's still solid. I mean, he had a good year, good year in his own respect. You got to take it with a grain of salt because obviously his counterpart's taking all the attention on that defensive line.
Well, I mean, I have to ask you. I mean, if you're drafting, even with the Browns, looks like they're in the second round now with the Jerry Jeudy trade.
They gave a first-round pick for Jerry Jeudy. They're still paying for their quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if the outside linebacker position is huge in this draft.
I think there's nothing. I don't think there's a lot of. I think outside linebackers was one of those positions right now in this draft class that just aren't there.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, he might have been the best available option based on the years and time and experience. So it's not a total loss on their end, but it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money for a guy who I think he's a problem. He's been around.
I'm not arguing with that at all.
There's a couple solid guys, defensive linemen come out of the draft. There's Dallas Turner out of Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Verse. That Latuo from UCLA. Braylon Trice out of Washington.
I mean, you can talk about all the guys that are coming out, but at the end of the day, who's going to fall to where and where do the priorities lie? I mean, especially for that defense was so good last year. I mean, they need to stay together, so I don't think that's a bad move for the price. And then you draft, hopefully develop there and see, but
yeah. It's nothing. I guess it's nothing against Zarius Smith. I just think his motives.
No, not at all. It's just what do you get? So I let him go and test the market, or do I just give him this that I know that is maybe Myles Garrett said bring him back.
Yeah, well, that'd be the.
You're paying him a lot of money. You're going to listen to Myles Garrett if he wants him back.
Yeah,
you're bringing him back. Period.
Breaking news: there's a new quarterback in New England.
Who's this now?
Jacoby Brissett signs a deal with New England to go back again.
Oh, JB. He's like Kirk Cousins and Mitch Trubisky, man. He just keeps making money.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, though. I mean,
I love it. I think it's hilarious. I think it's great.
I was just seeing if I found anything that popped up. Breaking news, and it doesn't look like anything for us. We keep on going down our list.
Nothing Packers-wise.
Nothing Packers-wise. The Commanders have signed former Chargers running back Austin Eckler, which is, I mean, for the production he gave for as long as he did, it's probably a good signing on the Commanders' part. Because when listen to him on like Jim Rome's show, he is a leader. He's a solid. He's a solid player.
Mm-hmm.
Good guy. Maybe that's what they need in that locker room more than anything right now is a productive leader who, been there, done that. Because he's a Pro Bowler. He's been in the playoffs. He's just one of those guys that unfortunately just got the shit on the stick with the organization he played with, the Chargers, and they put their money in the wrong spot for how long. And now they're at where they're at. I mean, especially I guess like looking at it at the standpoint of, they have money. They have a ton of money in the wide receiver position, which, I guess looking at, how the Packers do things, it's not something they do. They put their money into the offensive line, quarterback, and, not necessarily the skill positions, but the positions that win the game.
Well, they're also, the Commanders, you look at the Commanders now, like they signed Tyler Biadasz, right?
Yep.
And then now they also filled Brian Robinson, that running back room. You're putting Austin Eckler into that room.
Yeah. They definitely They definitely bolstered what they're building something there, and I think they finally got
Yeah.
they got a good coach. I mean, it's not the coach they wanted. They wanted what's that Johnson out of Detroit, but they got a good coach. And I feel like with coaches who get that, like, it's not who we wanted, but it's who we got. I think they always kind of have that chip on their shoulder and they have something to prove. So hopefully the Commanders do something productive here going forward, because the NFL is better when we got, that NFC East is tough and then NFC North is tough. Yeah, that's you get those flagship programs that are tough, man. It just makes a big difference.
Well, you got to give Sam Howell. I mean, obviously Sam Howell is their guy, right? Like,
Yep.
he's almost like he's gonna throw next year for 4,500 yards. He's gonna throw 30 touchdowns, I think. Like, or he'll be up there. I think I think they did a good thing today by bolstering their running back room, take that pressure off Howell, build that offensive lineup a little bit. Defensively, that'll be interesting what they do. I think probably in the draft you're going to probably look at all defense there.
I don't know necessarily going to go after all defense. I mean, it's such a year for offensive linemen too, where I think you look at the Commanders,
bolster it up.
bolster that shit up.
Yep, get yourself some depth there. I agree. Like, hopefully the Packers do that too. I really hope that 1 through 4 we get guys that we think we know for sure can play right away, and then we get some depth. Hopefully not just in special teams either.
Shout out to DQ watching. Thanks, Darren. Yeah, that's the Packers are at that. It's just so interesting with the Green Bay right now because it's the first time in 5-6 years where we can honestly say that we don't have to chase any draft picks. We can just draft the best available player, and that's.
Well, it almost feels like 2009 after Rodgers we're like, okay, we got our guy. We got our trigger guy. Now we can build this thing. And it ain't Rodgers totally his fault, man. We had some bad balls that dropped the wrong way. I don't know.
Onside kick, bad defense.
Everything, yeah, like all those little things, and
some of those defenses, though, I will give Rodgers a lot of credit. But some of those defenses we had no fucking business being on the field of some of the offenses we played, man. Especially some of those years playing, like physical teams like the Seahawks back when they had Marshawn Lynch. And it seems like every time you ran into the Niners, they play a physical game, man. It's, Jim Harbaugh always had that physical game mentality. Then.
I mean, Dom Capers, Mike Pettin.
I think Mike Pettin. I honestly, looking back at it, if I could pick between Joe Barry and Mike Pettin, I would still be running with Mike Pettin.
I would still be running with Mike Pettin too. Yeah,
I don't think he got the time to build what he needed to build. In my opinion, they gave him 2 years to, unbastardize Dom Capers' defense, and that second year he was the top 15 defense, and they cut him loose.
He was aggressive. I liked his aggressiveness. The way they really got to the quarterback with Pat.
Yeah, and Darren, I do agree with you. I definitely think the offensive line should be addressed this coming draft. And me and Bryce were texting basically all day about how we need to know. I honestly didn't think they were going to go. You obviously read the rumors of like Xavier McKinley coming to Green Bay, but I honestly thought that Patrick Queen would have been a guy they would have targeted. And I don't think I'm ready to say because Quay Walker is a stud. Quay Walker is a guy who goes sideline to sideline, and this might be the defense he shines in. This style where he's the guy in the middle. He's the guy making the impact, and when you look at the numbers too, like when we were on that shit defensive run for a couple weeks, Quay Walker was hurt, not in the lineup. So you've seen the unathleticism, I guess you can call it, of Campbell, which I guess led to his release. Obviously, he's playing through injuries, but it's just one of those things where you look at Quay Walker and like the stat lines when he's in the game, he is a difference maker. He's not picking the ball off and running down the sideline, but he is stopping the run. He's in the gaps. He's going sideline to sideline, stopping guys short of the first down when he's not pushing referees and fighting. I mean, the guy's an absolute animal, and I think you're seeing him mature too at that same level. And he's definitely, I don't want to say a Pro Bowler next year, but he got to be in that mix because he was out for 3 weeks and he was still like top 10 tackles in the NFL. The guy's an absolute animal.
Yeah, I just wonder, and I think back to that moment where he got ejected from that game and he was slamming his helmet against the locker room wall, going or in the tunnel heading in. And you wonder if it's like a lot of that scheme too, and if he's frustrated in that scheme. And maybe he matured and just sucked it up for this last year. And, he did play really good, but you're right. Like, to see him in a new scheme will give us the full evaluation of who this guy is as a pro.
Oh, absolutely. And I think we're like slowly seeing his progression unfold.
Yeah.
And like I guess like I kind of pointed out, like there's that period where he was out, and the defense really took a shit. And it was a pro football focus thing too. I read, so it's like it's not like pulling stuff out of the hat. He is a true defensive difference maker when he's in that middle because he's so athletic. I mean, there's not a lot of middle linebackers that could do what he can do physically. I mean, just how he is able to, basically roam that center, and he's solid.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's what he's meant to do. Like, I really think he needs to fly with his head on a swivel and just attack. Like, that's what Quay Walker is. He's an athlete. He can get through tight spaces. He can run fast. That's why you got that guy. You didn't get that guy to be in pass coverage. You got that guy to be an athlete. So you got to let him go. But you got to figure out the best.
Yeah. Other news, I guess today, Packers release Aaron Jones. So for about an hour today, they had the best 1-2 punch in the NFL.
Yeah, they did. They really did. Besides, with the Commanders with Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler right now, I think that was for 30 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to see Jones go, but I guess I do understand the business side of it. If you don't want to play ball, you're not going to play ball here.
Well, it's funny, Louis, because he, when he restructured last year, he said he didn't want to be greedy. And it's basically like, and I don't know if this is a good thing about Brian Gutekunst, but he basically said, you need to take a pay cut. Otherwise, we're willing to do this. When he already took a pay cut last year. And knowing his injury thing going on, and he's 29 years old, like, I think Gutekunst had a lot of leverage there.
Yeah. I definitely think it was I don't think it was a personal thing. I obviously, as Packer fans, we kind of know the history between Drew Rosenhaus and the Green Bay Packers. They just don't mesh. It all stems back to Javon Walker. Yeah. And like it's just one of those. Is it money? I think it has to do more than money. I think when you look at in his entire tenure of the Green Bay Packers, he's only played 15 games, more than 15 games 3 times. So if you're not available, then what are you? You know what I mean? So, I mean, he's not Bakhtiari hurt all the time, but he hardly played this year. Now, when we seen him get into the playoffs, I mean, that was literally the start of his regular season. So when he popped off, he's basically playing on fresh legs, which good thing and bad thing, I guess you think about it. But at the same time, we got to win games to get into the playoffs. We're not in a cupcake division right now. We got to play the Lions, who are absolute killers.
But Aaron Jones is 29 years old, just like Ducey said. Like,
DQ.
DQ, sorry. He was, he's 29 years old. I mean, Jacobs is 26 in his prime. He is in his prime right now. It just leaves you open for a running back in the third or fourth that you like, maybe.
Yeah.
And it keeps you. Now that we got XM McKinney, we can go. I mean, like we talked about earlier, Dijon. Like he should be your focus because he can play. He can play that nickel corner, or he can play that dime defense too. Like he can do whatever, or he can do anything.
Yeah.
He can fill. He's the guy.
Yeah, he's a guy who can play. He could be safety. He could be corner. I mean, obviously we know the availability of Eric Stokes, and he's hurt all the time too. So you have another stud that can fill up a corner role.
And we talked about with Keshawn Nixon leaving, like he can play punt returner. He can play kick returner.
I did read something where they are trying to get him back, Nixon back. So the jury's not out on him yet. And he is a very stingy nickel corner too. He's
there's something with him. Yeah, I like him. I don't know.
What's going to live in my memory forever is that pick on Patrick Mahomes, that Chiefs game. Like he read that shit like a book. He knew exactly what was coming, and just like he's just one of those guys. He's just I think he's very scheme oriented. I think this man-to-man scheme more with Hafley is going to really benefit him too. So maybe we can see a rise of Nixon too in a scheme like this, where more man-to-man, the speed. He's not going to get beat down the sideline. He's just as fast as anybody.
If anything, he'd come in and be on the practice squad. If anything, and be ready. He'd be a guy that.
I don't see him as a practice squad guy because he can be like, two-time Pro Bowler,
It's up to him, man. Yeah. I mean, it's up to him what he wants to do in the system. But I don't see, I'm just saying that would be a last resort for him. But
somebody just said Nixon's gone.
He will be gone, yeah.
I don't know if he's gone yet. So Steve Schwartz, thank you very much, Steve, for tuning in, pal. Been a while.
I think Dijon can fill that role if he wanted to return kicks and stuff. I think that would be wonderful.
Oh, I think that'd be a great fill for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's just so versatile. He's so athletic. And he's smart, too. He's not, whatever happened with that call, that fair catch call nonsense in that game. I think it was against Penn State. Just nonsense.
Yeah, I'm looking at Packers, the Twitter, just trying to catch up with any moves that we're missing as we're doing the show. Buccaneers signed Chase Edmonds to a 1-year deal.
Chase Edmonds.
I feel like he's a runner.
Steve, where did Keshawn Nixon go?
Noah Fant signed a 2-year deal with the Seahawks.
So he got re-signed.
Got re-signed, yeah.
Yeah, he was part of that Wilson trade, yep.
Zach Bond signs a 1-year deal with the Eagles. Eagles are very 1-year deal oriented anymore.
I like 1-year deals. I
actually like. So I'm going to be on the majority with this. I love the 1-year deals with quarterbacks. I think Baker Mayfield played that absolutely perfectly. Where give me that 1-year prove it deal, and I'm going to go out there and ball out for you because he took a
with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. His 1-year.
Absolutely. I don't get why you don't do 1-year deals unless you want to, you're a guy like Xavier McKinley or Love, like why wouldn't you do 1-year deals even as a player? And then just decline the franchise tag like Daniil Hunter did.
Yeah. Jordan Love should thank Baker Mayfield for making him even more millions.
Jordan Love is going to get paid.
Yeah. Well, I would say Jordan Love and Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Kirk's deal was, for a guy who just tore his Achilles, I thought that was
Dude,
crazy. But Kirk Cousins is a Hall of Fame businessman, dude. He has made so much freaking money in the NFL. Like it's crazy. Like the back-to-back franchise tags. Then he goes to Minnesota, gets a guaranteed deal, a couple guaranteed deals, and then now this deal he makes another $100 million guaranteed. It's just
go on Smart Racket. He's made $330 million without winning a Super Bowl.
This guy.
There he is, Uncle Tom.
Haggett. Yeah, just interesting. Yeah, the quarterback market right now is crazy.
Well, you got to pay them. I mean, you got guys. It's the most important position. I don't know.
Absolutely is a fucking genius. Thank you, Timothy Holbrook, for saying that. Kirk Cousins is an absolute freaking genius.
He's an animal. He's an animal. If I die, I die.
Yeah, well, it's I guess like when you look at his situation, even like coming into the league, they drafted RG3 over him. He was a third round pick, or was he a third or fourth round pick? I think he was a third round pick. It's been a long time ago. Make my brain turn. Anyways, he was drafted after RG3, and it's just like he put that chip on his shoulder. So, and then they didn't want to give him an extension there. He didn't want to leave Washington. They just didn't want to give him an extension.
Well, just look at the offenses, the difference in the offenses that Kirk Cousins ran in Michigan State versus what they ran in Baylor. Like, It's not feasible in the NFL. Like, you got to be able to be under shotgun and read defenses and make quick decisions and be accurate. He benefited more than RG3 ever. Yeah. You can win Heisman Trophy. That's great. You got the pom-poms and everybody likes the cameras on you because you throw for a lot of yards. But you didn't learn nothing.
Yeah.
And you're on ESPN, and nobody wants to listen about that either. So,
on ESPN, your former old head coach is talking shit about you on Twitter.
RG3 is sitting there waiting for Kirk Cousins' career to be done because he'll be off the air.
Yeah. Props to Kirk Cousins. Again, I'm very happy for Kirk to get out of the shadow and play professional football again, man. That's good for him.
Yeah, it's finally get out of that
dumpster fire.
That thing they call a stadium.
Yeah. Kirk O'Chains heading to Atlanta, everybody.
You like that?
Yeah, you like that? Dude, he has so many little clips of him just being the absolute. Yeah. The guy's a menace to society, dude. Just really is. He really is.
He's still driving that Chevy Astro to practice, just making millions.
Oh, shit. So anyways, going back to the Vikings are signing Minnesota native Blake Cashman to a 3-year deal worth of $25.5 million. And Cashman's a stud. I shouldn't say a stud. He's a very good player. That's actually a pretty good pickup for them. He's one of those plug-and-play guys who can pop right in and play ball. So good for them, picking up him. And our arch nemesis to the south, DeAndre Swift signs with the Chicago Bears. That, to me, is a very iffy signing, man. It's really nothing against Swift. His entire career is built around false hope and fantasy football and injuries. That's his MO. It's nothing personal with him. It's just kind of his MO, man. He's always hurt.
Yeah, so the Vikings are getting Jonathan Greenard.
I've seen that, yep.
Van Ginkel. And who did you say again?
Cashman.
So
they basically just rebuilt their entire
they're building
linebacking core.
They're building it, which is fine. I mean, they're still not going to win anything. They ain't got a quarterback, but
Jeremy Fowler reported that the Seahawks are closing in on a deal with Leonard Williams. Fucking stud, too. Leonard Williams is a stud.
Not bad. I don't know. I think the Packers maybe you'll I don't know. We'll see. I just think there's something with Aaron Jones. Like, I think it's I think Aaron Jones wants to come back, but he wants to see what the market can pay him, and I think the Packers gave him that opportunity. So they're going to let him go see what he can get. I think that's the right thing to do as a team. I don't know. And as a player, I would want that too. Like, let me go see how much money I can make. If I can come back, I'll come back, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. But Vikings are interested in Jones. I believe it. I think there's a lot of teams.
I think, not going to lie to you, I think Houston, Texas would be an absolutely great spot for him.
Yeah, I don't
They
know.
They got a lot of talent there, and if he's as beat up as we've seen, I mean, I think I definitely think that the Texans have been being back in Texas too would be a good fit for him. I don't think he goes to the Cowboys, so they can't afford him.
Well, I don't think the offensive line is going to be as good either. I don't think that's going to be the place he'd want to be.
Yeah.
I think I would go, if I were him, I'd go to the Jets. Are the 49ers looking for another running back? I mean, can they afford something like that?
I don't think they can afford another one right now. They have a lot of money they got to move around, and there's a lot of talk, too, about them also being interested in the other Bosa brothers. So,
I mean, could you see the Bears going and getting him with Swift?
well, they got two good running backs there because they also got, what's his nuts, too, that not Montgomery, but the other running back, too. He was a really good running back this past season. What the hell's his name? Sorry, I was looking at Twitter. Another breaking news thing popped up too. Uncle Rico was heading to the Raiders. Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, he'll start week 1. Excuse me, quick.
Yep. Yeah, Khalil Herbert is the Bears running back. So Herbert and Swift, that's already a loaded backfield for them. But Gardner Minshew heading to the Raiders, which good for him. Gardner Minshew is just one of those guys that you can never take anything away from. He's one of those guys. As I keep on perusing Twitter here, just bear with me, everybody. Yeah, Austin Eckler, we already touched on him. David Bakhtiari was released today, and he gave a big thank you to the Packers for 11 years. And he's just one of those guys, man. David Bakhtiari, the old legendary middle finger at the end of the Bears game there this past year. It'd be his last. And,
the thing about Dave Bakhtiari is he's going to be in the Packer Hall of Fame. He'll always be a legend in Green Bay because he was the best at his position. He's like somebody said the other day that he's almost like Sterling Sharp. Like he had the best career going. His knee happened, or Sterling's neck, and that was it. Like it might have prevented a gold jacket.
I think
it's true.
I don't think he's out of the conversation yet, though, with the gold jacket. I mean, if you look at...
Well, not, because he's great. He was the best.
If you look at the pinnacle players at that position and for a period, I guess if you look at like a decade-long period, he is 1 and 2 with probably Trent Williams. You know what I mean? Joe Thomas in that mix, too, but...
Dude, that's what I think. Yeah,
he's definitely definitely a top 5 in that position the last, couple of years. Or I should say couple of years, last 10 years. He's, it's hard to Lane Staley's up there too, right? And I'd put him up there.
I mean, I respect that.
Lane. Was it Brandon Staley? Yeah, Brandon Staley. I don't know why Lane Staley is the singer of Alice in Chains.
The hell out of him. He came from Colorado, dude. Like, that guy worked his butt off. That guy's seen nobody in Colorado and came to the pros and was a really great left tackle.
Yeah.
Tyrone Smith, Dallas,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, well, he is up there too.
Jason Peters
up there. Yeah. Peters was that one guy, dude. He's been around forever. Like I think he came in around the same time as Joe Thomas.
Or Jason Peters a right guard? I don't know.
I think he's one of those rare cases he can play both. I think he played both guard and tackle.
Who's the left tackle for Seattle forever?
Russell Kuhn.
No.
Oh, Hutchinson. No, not Hutchinson. He was Vikings.
Well, Hutchinson was another one that played there, but Walter Jones.
He wasn't. He's older than that, though.
Was it Walter Jones?
I don't think it's Walter Jones. I want to say it was. I think you're thinking Russell Kuhn.
No, it was Walter Jones. He was one of the best. Yeah, I think he.
Speaking of best, yeah, Jason Kelce retired. He's a Mount Rushmore center of all time, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, he played the game right. You know, he's a leader, entertainer, fat Batman. You know, all this shticks he got over the years. He's just a rare. I guess like the show, obviously his podcast, like New Heights, really he takes you more into like Jason Kelce, but yeah, unreal player. Definitely, you look at the guy never missed a game. You know what I mean? The Iron Man, especially that position, Super Bowl ring, the speech. And Pro Football Focus too. His stats and even like on the down year, couple errors. Just the guy that's simply incredible.
I mean, there's a lot of good centers, man. There's a lot of great centers, man. I mean, you look at, I don't know. It's like you look at Matt Burke, Jeff Saturday.
I didn't know Jeff Saturday is a prick. Yeah, I was listening to Bill Michaels.
Yeah.
The Rodgers wanted him gone. He's a prick.
Well, whatever. I mean, I always laugh when on NFL Films when there was that piece of him talking shit to Peyton Manning, and Peyton's like, "Just snap the fucking ball, Jeff. That's all you gotta do, Jeff. Shut the up." Like that's probably it,
Yeah.
Like they probably hate, just like Russell Wilson on the Seattle team. They probably all hate the son of a bitch.
Yeah.
They're gonna talk nice in front of the cameras when they do America's game,
I know. I have a coworker who's a diehard Broncos fan. He grew up in Colorado, and holy shit, was there a celebration? And he came in, he was like, "He's fucking gone. He's done." And just like, yeah.
Oh, Russell's a piece of work, man.
I forgot about Travis Frederick. He was a stud. And too bad he got sick. He got some.
What happened? What happened to him?
He got some sort of. It's not Luke Gehrig's, but he got.
Oh yeah, Travis Frederick was the best center.
Yeah, he's so good.
Hard in that jump. Yeah, you're absolutely right. He got sick, huh?
Yeah, he tried to come back too, but
man. Yeah, that guy would have. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good Badgers right now. I mean,
Guillain-Barré syndrome. Guess what he got diagnosed with?
That's rare.
Which I think is a nerve. I'm trying to read more into it, but when it comes to medical stuff, I'm an absolute moron. So, yeah, but he's a Wisconsin guy through and through. He's from Sharon, Wisconsin. Attended Bigfoot High School, which is, if anybody here follows Wisconsin football, Bigfoot High School.
Monterey Jack said it's an autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
Oofda. I wonder what the prognosis on that is. I mean, I'm sure that's not it's anything like ALS. I mean, that's like that guy that blocked that punt for New Orleans. What was his name?
Not Rudy Gay. It was,
No. Steve, no.
I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah, they had that big thing for him on ESPYs a couple years after.
Yeah, he's got a statue.
Oh, Schlereth has it, too. Yep, Mark Schlereth has it.
Really?
Old stink.
Also does.
I should keep that up a little bit longer. Sorry about that, Jake. Monitor Jake.
Wow.
And not just a amazing offensive lineman, but he's an awesome radio host too. I listen to Stink. You guys
he's also a good person, man. Yeah. He beat the hell out of the Packers in Super Bowl 32. That's for damn sure. He had to put up with Gilbert Brown and Earl Dotson in that game, man. That's a big deal. Or Gabe Wilkins.
Yeah, it's
Those
crazy.
are big guys.
Speaking of like quarterbacks and like old players, just getting the new players coming in. That Caleb Williams, what do you think of him?
I think he's a guy that the Bears are going to draft.
I like how you say that, the shit you grin too.
I think like he has everything about the Bears picking him. Like it just like it's meant for him. Like I don't know. And I feel bad for Justin Fields. I don't know what the deal is with him, but I feel like Caleb Williams is going to be the exact same.
I think it's going to be worse. I really do. I think my biggest gripe with him is like I don't think he has the mental ability to be an NFL quarterback, and especially like when he comes into the draft and he compares himself to Aaron Rodgers right off the bat. Like he's like, oh, basically Aaron Rodgers. I'm 6'2", and whatever his weight is, basically Aaron Rodgers. I'm just like, you can't fucking say that, man. And first off, you went to USC with a completely different, offense. He's here. Yeah. This is basically I want to say in a nutshell.
And I think Jack's right. I mean, both of them. It's unbelievable how, like, Bears fans and, like, everybody is sold on this guy. And it's just like, how you've watched every little piece. This guy is not what every other quarterback is. Like,
I look at a guy who couldn't win in a cupcake. The Pac-12 is nothing like it used to be. I mean, obviously, you look at Oregon and Washington; they're great teams, but like they had a hard time beating UCLA. They had a hard time putting away some of the other schools. It's like, they beat Colorado, but like Colorado was in that game the whole time. I mean, and Colorado kind of sucked this year, other than the hype train around Shadir Smith and obviously Coach Prime. But like, when you look at everything he does and says, this kid's going to be a cancer in the locker room.
Yeah,
and he's
that's what
just
Tim.
Oh, did he? I was on the private chat. I didn't even see it.
Yeah, Tim.
Great mind thinks alike. To me, like if you're a quarterback in the draft, I'm not saying you have to go throw, but play ball with the guys who are there. Go do your medical shit. Go.
Yeah, he didn't even do his medical.
Yeah, like what's he trying to hide? Shit like that.
Well, what is his agent thinking when the Packers just got rid of Bakhtiari for $19 million because of his medical?
Yeah.
Like they're just like what is the logic behind that?
I don't think it's anything like. I think his agent's his dad. I'm gonna Google that really quick.
Oh my God! It's like, oh man, this dude. Oh, I think he's the type of player that has been praised his whole life and doesn't really know what he is. He doesn't know what he is, and I think he could be another Zach Wilson. Overhyped nonsense. I think it's just pure nonsense.
Yeah, Caleb Williams, his agent's his dad. So.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, dad. Yeah, that's great because Christian Watson knows how good that works.
Yeah.
Jeez. Like, that is the
Well,
worst.
I remember like it was like mid college season. He was also asking for ownership stake in whatever team drafts him. Like you can't. I mean,
Man, reaching for them start.
yeah. Well, good for him. I mean, you can ask for it. Doesn't mean you're going to get it.
Yeah, they're trying to one up Jamarcus Russell for sure.
Yeah. With a fixed cap and a draft too, like to come in at a certain number. You know what I mean? So
Jamarcus, you got what? Well, I got 10%. So yeah, whatever.
Yeah, man, it's one guy who I really think is getting overlooked in this draft as a quarterback is JJ McCarthy. I really think that JJ McCarthy is. I'm not going to say the best quarterback in the draft. He's not the most gifted quarterback in the draft by any means, but he's a winner and he's a gamer, man. That's what I think. I think you look around, yeah, like these Caleb Williams, Drake Mays, some of these other cats that are the upper echelon quarterbacks.
Jaden Daniels,
yeah, Penix. Penix needs to add like 20 pounds. He's a stick back there, dude.
Let him play.
And he's a kid that does everything right. He's not in the media. He's not a puke. Jalen Daniels, he's a fine quarterback. I don't think that bowl game goes any differently against the Badgers if he's starting. But
no, I mean, he's a good quarterback. He doesn't need to play that game, and he just needs to be around guys. I like all these guys that don't throw at the combine. I love it. Like I would never throw at the combine. I can't believe Penix did it.
I think Penix is in a situation though where he's a fringe round one guy. You know what I mean?
Really though, like I feel like he could have thrown at the pro day and been like, I'll make myself a one guy at the pro day, unless he wants to throw darts like down the field. But I just didn't. I don't get it. I don't know why you would throw at the combine.
I think McCarthy though, man. I think he's just that gamer. He's just that gritty. I don't want to say Baker. Don't want to say Baker Mayfield, but he's very.
No, I kind of feel the Baker thing too a little bit.
He's kind of that gritty. I want to play. I want to win games, which he's done. At Michigan, he's won games.
He's gotten better every year. He
gets better every single year, and he is also just I don't know how I say this. So I sound like an idiot, but.
He's a quiet leader. He's
very.
People attract to those things because if you don't, I feel like Brady was kind of like that too, though.
That's a comparison.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like he'll rally up the crowd and bullshit. But like I bet Brady didn't say shit when it came down to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Rodgers was like that.
Yeah. I like McCarthy. I think he's not as gifted, arm talent, probably not the same as some of these other guys, but like you've seen it. Like a lot of these quarterbacks were studs in the NFL. They weren't, they're round one guys, and they weren't, a lot of these guys are like the later first round, not as flashy, but they're gamers. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, look at Patrick Mahomes. He's that way. Patrick Mahomes, he's a late first round pick. Everybody questioned his arm talent. Everybody knew he had a strong arm, but is his arm talent there?
Yeah, but I mean, you look at that coaching, Louis. The coaching for the Chiefs is like the perfect situation for a guy like him. Not just because like it's Andy Reid, he coached Favre and all that, but like. Andy Reid has been through Donovan McNabb, Brett Favre,
Michael Vick.
Yeah, he has been through the block of quarterbacks, and he knows. Like I think Patrick Mahomes would be Caleb Williams if he got drafted to the Bears, not the Chiefs. You know what I mean?
I can see that comparison too, but
Williams,
man. Williams is I think he's just an absolute. I don't want to say bust, but I don't think I think he's to be that guy where it might take one or two teams to figure him out. He needs to get humbled.
Well, the NFL will make it happen, but we'll see,
I do feel bad, though, for Justin Fields because I don't think he deserves this. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't deserve this mess. He didn't play terribly. Towards the end of the year, he played really, really well. I just think that team is so young; they just got to figure it out on their end. Then they never will. It's Chicago, but his offensive line didn't really develop until later in the year. You kind of seen it. The run game they can figure it out till later in the year. I think Fields. I think he had one more year in that system. I think he may be a middle, top 15 quarterback in the league.
At least 20, but I mean, at the same time, it's like, hindsight's 2020, but he almost should have pulled a Peyton or an Eli Manning thing and been like, "No, I'm not going."
Yeah, I don't.
I almost think Caleb. I would not go to the fucking Bears right now as the number one pick. I would hate that. I feel like it would be horrible. The city is terrible. The franchise is terrible. There's nothing good about Chicago right now.
No.
If you think about it.
Other than what, a good wide receiver, Cole Kmet.
Maybe a good pizza. I don't know.
Deep dish isn't my style.
I don't know. I couldn't convince myself to go there right now.
No, I couldn't convince myself to. But that's for them to figure out. If it was me, I'd trade out of that number one pick and get some more picks just to do what your betters do in the North. But I'm not the one pulling the trigger for them. So
yeah, at least go back. I mean, they could still even trade back 4 spots and be okay.
Yeah, well, I think what they need is an offensive line in Chicago.
Yeah, maybe that's what they should do with it, with an extra pick later, But I don't know.
Yeah, but the show's back. I'd like to do this again this week.
It would be fun.
I like maybe Thursday. I know Wednesday I got darts, doing that TOC league for darts.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah, it's been definitely a whirlwind.
Yeah, good.
It's definitely, so this league that we're playing is definitely like way more competition than we've really been accustomed to, because we're not playing just teams in the area, we're playing teams all over the nation. So
yeah,
it's been definitely fun in that aspect. Darts has been good for me this year though. We got second place, Division 1 in Stansfield.
Throwing good.
It's been spotty, but when I'm hot, I'm hot, and I'm cold, I'm ice cold. So, basically Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins of darts, dude. Just not making any money.
Ice and elevate in the Astro van.
Yeah, I should do that. Yeah, I was second place in D1, man. That was so when I first started playing, I never thought in a million years, like me and my friend groups, would ever be playing D1. And yeah, we went to D1 and we had to lace up and play, and we won the most games in our first round robin. Got into the championship rounds and started winning games, and we had double dipped the team that got first place. That was one of Ben O'Reilly's teams. And we won the first set, but we obviously in this tournament you have to lose 2 games. We won the first set of games, and then the second game, our second match started, and we went all the way to the final game and lost the last one. So we were basically a game away to winning it. But those tournaments, dude, are so tough. It's because you're playing, like a lot of these guys are playing all week. You know what I mean? Their arms are going to fall off come Sunday. But we gave it our best. We played. My team was Joe Hassard, Old Paulie, and Nick West. We had a lot of fun. Nick's from Sparta, and Paulie's from Stoddard, and Joe was from Coon Valley. We had a good time.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah. Other than that, nothing really else new on my end. I guess I built this computer from the ground up and got this thing up and running, and definitely an accomplishment that I always wanted to do, and got it up and running. Definitely, I can tell just in the screen how much better this thing runs on my end. So, my next step is another monitor that way I can keep my eyes straight the whole time and don't have to pop through all these different tabs. But that's down the road. Probably soon, probably within the next couple months.
Well, it's been a great show. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, we're definitely getting to more news. Yeah, if you're free Thursday, we can run Thursday.
Let's run her.
Yeah, we can plan for Thursday, and then so this show I definitely want to get into paranormal too. So I think next Monday I'm gonna try to reel in a paranormal guy.
Sounds
That's
great.
that's been a sick addiction lately. I just sit around and I watch Ghost Hunters or whatever on Amazon before bed. It's a great way to wind down.
I'd like to go check it out and experience it, but we'll see.
Oh man, so
See how it goes there.
when we went to Waverly Hills, man, I didn't have any personal experiences there, but like some of those buildings, dude, that are abandoned, it's so damn dark. Like Waverly Hills, that death tunnel, dude, they shut the lights off and if you've ever been in a dark room, and picture a dark room times 10, like you can't see nothing. There's no light. You can't, just like, man, this is. But if you're interested, I really want to go to Sheboygan, the asylum up there, and just do a tour. We could actually make this a weekend. We could go to Packers training camp, and then we can go to Sheboygan.
I was gonna say that'd be a interesting blast time, actually.
I know Darren DQ, who's in the chat. I think he went to some haunted place too. But he was talking about doing Glenbula School, which is just south of Fond du Lac a little bit. It's old school there that's haunted.
Oh, that'd be on the way too.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely Sheboygan is on my bucket list. Villisca Axe Murder House is on my bucket list. That's in Iowa. There's another place too in northern Minnesota. They call it the Waverly Hills of the north. And
can you just go to these places, or do you have to pay for them?
You have to pay for some of them. Actually, the one I'm talking about in Minnesota is actually shut down. They were doing tours, but then they didn't realize that they had fire sprinklers installed, and that was like another $100,000 just to do all that. So that's currently shut down. So can we get in there? Probably. Can we get caught and get thrown in jail? Probably. So I'm not going to go to jail in Minnesota as a Wisconsin. I'd be like going to the fucking gulag as a fucking American in Russia. So
yeah, any jail in America is better than anywhere else.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, on that note, guys, we will catch you probably Thursday. Are you free Thursday?
I am free Thursday.
I will make the show then for Thursday.
Let's make it happen.
Sounds good. Well, thank you guys all for tuning in. We had actually, for as little as I promoted the show, we had a lot of viewers. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. And we will catch you guys on Thursday for more NFL news and more random banter. So thank you guys.
Let's go.
All right. And by the way, one more thing. Check out Lit Beard Company for he has a new flavor coming out. Since we stopped the show, a bunch of other great scents came out. Patriots Punch and still my favorite is Tux. But everything Anthony makes over there is amazing, and he always gives back to veteran organizations. And I'm actually wearing a shirt now. But yeah, Lit Beard Company. Check them out. All right. Peace.
Have a good night, folks.